Hey there guys, welcome back to Lost Odyssey. It's Chocolate Milk here. Today is the day that we actually start getting into some more storyline stuff. We're actually going to go to Grandstaff today. I'm parked right by, you can see it in the distance there, so I'm just going to go there with the White Boa. You'll notice there's no game audio. What happened when I recorded this was I'm assuming that I just forgot to plug in the AV cable that was responsible for sound because I did all three videos of the Grandstaff in a row and I had no sound. So when we get to the dungeon, I'm going to splice in some sound for you guys, but unfortunately this first part here is going to have no sound. Just so everyone's aware of that. So the hypercurrents are in the way, but since we have the White Boa, it really shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know why the scene is even here. I guess maybe just to point out that all the magic energy is creating just a huge swirl of hypercurrents around the Grandstaff protecting it, but whatever, I suppose. I'm just gonna have to get in closer and actually board the staff. So once that kind of unnecessary scene, in my opinion, is over, just go on ahead and just sail right to the Grandstaff breaking through the ice. You have to do this with the White Boa. It won't work with the Nautilus. And it'll say you cannot return, but don't worry because you can. So just go ahead and board the staff when you're ready. And you've trained, you're at a decent level, you feel like you have the best equipment, all of that. And of course Gongora is here waiting for us with his acolytes, which really shouldn't come of a surprise to anybody. And this music is actually from the second Grandstaff because this is just the first time we're visiting the area. This is the first Grandstaff. And I do not like this place at all, but I will try to not complain too much about it because no one likes to hear me complain. So I strongly suggest saving at this point. And I'm just going to show you what I have here. I've got anything that protects against status effects, which is a good idea. I use the Angel Guard accessory we got in the Forgotten Cave. Things that'll absorb elements because a lot of the creatures in here are magical, so I suggest having magical rings on your characters if you feel like that'll help you, and then just switching out accordingly. But you know, 99% of them are magical, and you should be able to do additional damage with the magical ring. Protect against aspects will help, and then just, you know, having whatever you feel like in the way of mages and party. I don't find this area particularly difficult. It's not super crazily hard, but I did much prefer, and I always have, to do all of the side questing stuff first before we do the Grandstaff, and then also the second Grandstaff. It's just the way I've always done things, so I'm not really explaining myself very well, but I think if you're obviously watching, I'm sure you guys can all use your eyeballs. Every time you hit a terminal, it'll turn off the steam. Now what the steam does is it prevents you from going further in the game because you have to walk across these pipes to be able to go and advance on. So once the steam is gone, you can actually walk across the pipes. It's been so long since I've done post-commentary for any Lost Odyssey video that I have to get back into the habit here, so. This area, I wouldn't say this area is too hard. I don't like any of the stabs in this game. They just made them just a total pain in the butt, in my opinion. And yeah, they're just, I don't know, and they're just not good looking either. They're just not pretty. I don't know. I guess because I'm a girl, I like pretty things. You know, like the ice canyon was kind of cool. It was snowy and it looked nice. But this place is just all mechanical and all one washed out brown color. So now that the steam's turned off, this is the pipe I was talking about. You can walk across this one. Now if you fall down, don't worry about it. There's a ladder you can climb. But sometimes if you fall down, there's items down here. I think at one point there's a few cans we can kick over. And I, of course, forget which pipe that is, so I might have to fall down a few of these pipes before we figure out where that is. But anyways, there's usually nothing down there. If you fall down, don't worry too much about it. Or you get knocked down by steam or whatever. So that actually didn't take us too long. It was about 5 minutes for the first little area of Grand Staff. So board the elevator, and we'll go up. Now keep in mind too, when you're collecting treasures in this area, that you can't come back here after this, which is why it said the area of no return. You can only come here the once. So just collect everything along the way, and if you do happen to forget something, don't worry too much about it, because you can always pick it up at the trusty auction house. And I have to go there, speaking of which, and clean out that place, because there's still a bunch of stuff I haven't picked up. But yeah, if you miss something, it'll be at the auction house. But it's pretty much the norm here. We got the cans, mostly cans in this area, some treasure chests, nothing too fancy. It's just a matter of going in every single nook and cranny in this area. And I'm trying to think about how big this place is. Like, it's been so long since I actually recorded this. I think this only took me 3 videos, maybe 2 videos. Really wasn't too long. So now we're going to move on to the next floor. This is the Armory. Now in these tanks here, these creatures are completely optional. I'm going to fight one and I'm going to show you the battle just to show you what that looks like. But before I do, I'm going to show you what I've done. I don't think I'm going to change anything. I think I'm alright. Let's set Ming and Sarah, Seth and Kai. So if you want to battle these things, just walk up to the little like tank, I guess, that they're in, or chamber, and then just operate it, and it will, I guess, like set the creature free. So these are optional in this Grand Staff. You only fight these things by opening them up of your own free will. This is experiment number 1, and the important thing about him is that he drops the white charm. This is one of 2 areas in the whole game to get this, and it's a lot harder to try and get it when you're not fighting him. So I would suggest trying to get it now. You can't steal it. You can only drop it, which is kind of crappy because I didn't end up getting this item, and I just gave up because I was just so annoyed. But it's necessary if you are going for a few achievements. I do believe there's an achievement for equipping every accessory on all of your immortals, and that's what I was going for. But I mean, I'm not gonna get that. I think it actually restores HP every turn, so it's good to have. And I mean, while you're here, you might as well get it. So that's the significance of this guy. I think he also gives you quite a bit of SP points as well. The only bad thing about him is that he will restore 700 HP per turn. As you can see, there's 731 HP a turn. He has 11,000 HP. He's organic, so if you have something that will do additional damage on organic enemies on Kai and Seth, that will help. And then just going in with, I use Winda. I mean, he's organic. He doesn't have an element, so he's not particularly weak to anything. But I just find using Wind or Winda is one of the most effective ways. You can use Force or Forcia too. That works pretty well. Just kind of play around with it. He's quite resilient because he is he probably has a really high magical defense because he uses magical spells. So it's a lot easier to use physical attackers for this fight. This is why I decided to keep Sed in, because I knew if I switched Jansen in or something like that, I really wouldn't have the greatest physical attack power or magic attack power against this guy. So it really takes a while to defeat these guys too, so it's gonna be a big drain on your MP and HP. I think he's got Shadowist, which will do the whole entire party. He's got, yeah, I think he's gonna use now. He's got I think he's got, God, what's it called? Mindus, that's what it's called, Mindus. So when he does, if he uses Mindus and then he uses an attack, he'll actually get to use it twice. So if he used Mindus before he used Shadowist, he would have been able to cast Shadowist twice in the same turn. which really is not fun to deal with. It's very annoying. So very, very strong magical creature. Has some pretty high magical defense. His turns, or his spells, generally take a long time to cast because you're constantly interrupting them with your party, but when he does get his spells out, they can be quite powerful, especially if you've been battling this guy for quite a few turns. And of course, the big pain in the butt is that he's going to restore all that HP every turn, but it really shouldn't slow you down too much. As long as you have a good party going on, and you just keep doing what you're doing, you should be able to fight him. And of course, like I said, the drop is random, and I had just the shittiest luck trying to get it from him. I got really frustrated and just gave up, but just so you guys know, that white charm is available from him, and he's totally optional. So you get 10 SP, 3,000 gold, and then whatever drop he chooses to drop. So anytime you see these glass tanks, or chambers, whatever, feel free to battle him if you choose. So we're going to go back down to the second boiler, and we're going to turn on this terminal, which will turn off that jet of steam so we can move on forward. And then you can actually take this, the ladder back up, and you can just create a shortcut. I like shortcuts, they just make my life so much easier. So, as long as you don't miss any of the terminals for turning off the steam and everything like that, you should be fine. It can get a little bit complicated because there's a lot of ladders in this place, and some, like, later on in the area, it gives you the option to go down a few different ladders, and you're just like, oh god, what do I do? Okay, that just leads back to where we were, never mind. That's not important. Just keep moving forward, I guess. So now we can move across this pipe, and we can continue on. So I hope the music loop hasn't been too annoying for you guys, but I wanted to put some music in because I didn't want to, just have me talking the whole time. So hopefully, I think we're about halfway through the Grand Staff now, so we should be only in here for another video or so. Alright, so back up to the Armory. One last time here, pretty much, just to collect a little bit of treasure. This is just another part of the Armory. Kind of the same place in a different part of the building. There's more of the glass chambers here if you feel that you would like to fight any more of experiment number 1. If you didn't have any luck getting the white charm like I didn't. I tend to really not have very good luck when it comes to just random drops. I don't know what it is. Just, it doesn't even matter what video game it is, I just never have any luck. The only real thing over here to get is this chest, which has shyness in it. It's not really anything of all that great interest here. So then you go back, and there should be a little, I don't know what to call these things either, like a vent you can fall down, which will again take us back to the second boiler. This time, this is again another chest. This is just another part of the second boiler. Sorcerer's Discus from Mac. And then we're actually going to start to move on from this point on. I'm just going to go back up to the Armory and take the elevator back to the new area. And then we can start on the second video of this first Grand Staff. This place is about halfway done now, I would say. So we're really not making some bad progress. So I want to thank everybody so much for joining me for this episode of Lost Odyssey. This has been Chocolate Milk, and yeah, hope you guys have been enjoying this Let's Play so far and that the looping music wasn't too annoying, so see you all in the next video.